Brandon Burlsworth was a name that echoed through the world of American football in the early 2000s. A towering figure, both physically and in terms of talent, he stood out as a once-in-a-lifetime prospect. The first player from Arkansas to be drafted in the first round of the NFL draft, in 2005, Burlsworth's story was one of triumph, but also of tragedy. Born in Harrison, Arkansas, in 1981, Burlsworth grew up with a passion for football that bordered on obsession. He was a natural athlete, dominating on the high school gridiron, and his talent didn't go unnoticed. College scouts flocked to see him play, and the University of Arkansas offered him a scholarship, which he gratefully accepted. At Arkansas, Burlsworth flourished under the guidance of coach Houston Nutt. He developed into a force to be reckoned with, a dominant left tackle who could open up holes for the running backs and protect the quarterback with ease. His size, strength, and agility made him a nightmare for opposing defenses to deal with. As Burlsworth's junior season came to a close, NFL scouts began to take notice. They projected him as a first-round pick, and the Arkansas faithful couldn't wait to see him take the next step. The 2005 NFL Draft was highly anticipated, with Burlsworth's name prominently featured on everyone's lips. Draft day arrived, and the tension was palpable. Burlsworth, surrounded by friends and family, anxiously waited for his name to be called. When it finally happened, the room erupted in cheers and tears. The St. Louis Rams had selected Brandon Burlsworth with the 33rd overall pick, cementing his place in NFL history. Burlsworth's professional career, though short-lived, was marked by promise and excitement. He was a work in progress, still learning the intricacies of the game, but his potential was undeniable. Tragically, his life was cut short before he could truly realize his dreams. On April 26, 2005, just a few days after the draft, Burlsworth was involved in a fatal car accident. He was driving home from a dinner engagement when his vehicle collided with a semi-truck. Burlsworth's injuries were catastrophic, and despite attempts to save him, he succumbed to his wounds. The news of Burlsworth's passing sent shockwaves through the football world. The NFL community came together to pay tribute to a young man who had shown so much promise. His family, friends, and coaches were left to pick up the pieces, struggling to make sense of the tragedy that had befallen them. As the investigation into Burlsworth's death began, questions arose about the circumstances surrounding the accident. Was it a simple case of a fatal car crash, or was there more to the story? Theories abounded, but the truth remained elusive. The Burlsworth family, in their grief, demanded answers. They wanted to know why their loved one's life had been cut short so prematurely. As the investigation continued, it became clear that nothing would ever be the same again. The football world had lost a shining star, and the Burlsworth family would never be able to fill the void left by his passing. In the years that followed, the mystery surrounding Burlsworth's death only deepened. Rumors and speculation swirled, but the truth remained shrouded in secrecy. The NFL, the University of Arkansas, and the Burlsworth family all became embroiled in a complex web of intrigue and deception. As we delve deeper into the story of Brandon Burlsworth, one question remains at the forefront of our minds: what really happened on that fateful night in April 2005? Was it an accident, or was there more to the story? The search for answers continues, but one thing is certain: the death of Brandon Burlsworth will forever be remembered as one of the most heartbreaking mysteries in football history. The Burlsworth family's quest for truth and justice is a testament to their unwavering dedication to their son and his legacy. As we explore the complexities of Burlsworth's life and death, we are reminded that sometimes, the truth is not as simple as it seems. The story of Brandon Burlsworth is a cautionary tale about the high cost of ambition and the fragility of life. It is a reminder that, in the world of football, nothing is ever as it seems, and the truth is often hidden behind a veil of secrecy and deception. As we continue our investigation into the death of Brandon Burlsworth, we will uncover the shocking truth behind this tragic tale. We will speak to those who knew him best, including his family, friends, and teammates. We will examine the events leading up to his death and the subsequent investigation. And we will piece together the puzzle of Burlsworth's life to uncover the truth behind this heartbreaking mystery. The story of Brandon Burlsworth is a complex one, full of twists and turns that will leave you questioning everything. But one thing is certain: his legacy will live on, a reminder of the fragility of life and the power of the human spirit. Join us as we explore the tragic tale of a football giant, and uncover the shocking truth behind his untimely death. As we progress in our investigation, we will delve deeper into the world of football, where the lines between reality and myth are often blurred. We will examine the culture of the sport, where the pursuit of victory can lead to devastating consequences. And we will explore the impact of Burlsworth's death on the football world, where his legacy continues to be felt. The story of Brandon Burlsworth is a reminder that, in the world of football, nothing is ever as it seems. Behind the scenes, there are secrets and lies, scandals and cover-ups. It is a world where the strong prey on the weak, and where the pursuit of victory can lead to devastating consequences. As we continue to explore the tragic tale of Brandon Burlsworth, we will uncover the shocking truth behind this heartbreaking mystery. We will speak to those who knew him best, including his family, friends, and teammates. We will examine the events leading up to his death and the subsequent investigation. And we will piece together the puzzle of Burlsworth's life to uncover the truth behind this tragic tale. The Burlsworth family's quest for truth and justice is a testament to their unwavering dedication to their son and his legacy. As we explore the complexities of Burlsworth's life and death, we are reminded that sometimes, the truth is not as simple as it seems. The story of Brandon Burlsworth is a cautionary tale about the high cost of ambition and the fragility of life. It is a reminder that, in the world of football, nothing is ever as it seems, and the truth is often hidden behind a veil of secrecy and deception. As we conclude this section of our investigation, we are left with more questions than answers. What really happened on that fateful night in April 2005? Was it an accident, or was there more to the story? The search for truth continues, but one thing is certain: the death of Brandon Burlsworth will forever be remembered as one of the most heartbreaking mysteries in football history. Join us next time as we continue to explore the tragic tale of Brandon Burlsworth. We will delve deeper into the world of football, where the lines between reality and myth are often blurred. We will examine the culture of the sport, where the pursuit of victory can lead to devastating consequences. And we will explore the impact of Burlsworth's death on the football world, where his legacy continues to be felt. The Burlsworth family's quest for truth and justice is a testament to their unwavering dedication to their son and his legacy. As we explore the complexities of Burlsworth's life and death, we are reminded that sometimes, the truth is not as simple as it seems. The story of Brandon Burlsworth is a cautionary tale about the high cost of ambition and the fragility of life. Brandon Burlsworth's journey to becoming a football star was one of grit, determination, and an unrelenting passion for the game. Growing up in the small town of Harrison, Arkansas, Burlsworth's life was far from the spotlight of the NFL. Yet, it was this humble upbringing that would shape the very foundation of his future success. As a child, Burlsworth was always drawn to the thrill of competition. He spent hours in his backyard, tossing the football with his dad, perfecting his technique, and learning the ins and outs of the game. This early start would prove invaluable as he entered high school, where he quickly made a name for himself as a standout player on the Harrison High School football team. Coaches and teammates alike were impressed by Burlsworth's raw talent, his work ethic, and his unwavering dedication to the sport. He was a force to be reckoned with on the field, his size, strength, and agility making him a dominant presence. But it was more than just his physical abilities that set him apart. It was his unshakable passion, his relentless drive, and his refusal to accept anything less than his absolute best. As he entered his senior year, Burlsworth's stock continued to rise. College scouts took notice of his impressive performances, and soon enough, he was being courted by top programs from across the country. But for Burlsworth, there was only one school he truly wanted to attend: the University of Arkansas. Growing up, Burlsworth had always been a die-hard Razorbacks fan. He idolized the team, studied their games, and dreamed of one day suiting up in their iconic red and white jerseys. And now, with his impressive high school resume and his unwavering commitment to the program, he was being offered a scholarship to play for his beloved Arkansas. It was a moment that marked a turning point in Burlsworth's life, the moment when his hard work, his determination, and his passion for the game all came together in a way that would change everything. As he stood on the sidelines at Arkansas's Razorback Stadium, clutching his scholarship offer, Burlsworth knew that he was one step closer to realizing his dream of becoming a football star. But little did he know, the journey ahead would be far from easy. The road to success is rarely smooth, and for Burlsworth, it would be paved with setbacks, disappointments, and challenges that would test his resolve in ways he never thought possible. Yet, it was precisely this journey that would shape him into the person he was meant to be, a person of unwavering conviction, unshakable faith, and an unrelenting passion for the game. As Burlsworth stepped onto the Arkansas campus, he was ready to take on the world. With his scholarship in hand, he was poised to make a name for himself, to prove his doubters wrong, and to show the world what he was capable of. But in the shadows, a darker reality was waiting, one that would threaten to destroy everything he had worked so hard to achieve. And it was a reality that would change the course of his life forever. The question is, what happened next? How did a young man from a small town in Arkansas rise to become one of the most promising football prospects in the country? And what secrets lay hidden behind the scenes, waiting to be revealed? Stay tuned to find out, as we delve deeper into the tragic tale of Brandon Burlsworth, a story of heartbreak, of loss, and of a life cut short in its prime. From this point forward, Burlsworth's journey would take him down a path of both triumph and tragedy. He would face challenges that would test his strength, his courage, and his resolve. But through it all, he would remain steadfast in his commitment to the game, to his teammates, and to himself. And it was this unwavering dedication that would ultimately lead him to the pinnacle of success, only to have it all taken away in an instant. But what exactly happened to Brandon Burlsworth? How did a life so full of promise and potential come to such a tragic end? These are the questions we'll be exploring in the next section of our documentary, as we delve deeper into the mystery surrounding his untimely death. Stay tuned to find out more about the case that has left football fans and investigators scratching their heads for years. The NFL dream takes shape. Brandon Burlsworth's incredible journey was not just about his physical prowess on the football field. As he progressed through his college career, he began to capture the attention of scouts and coaches across the league. It was during this time that Burlsworth participated in the NFL Combine, a highly anticipated event where top prospects showcased their skills to potential suitors. With a towering height of over 6 feet 5 inches and an impressive weight of around 322 pounds, Burlsworth's physical presence was undeniable. But what truly set him apart was his speed and agility. He clocked in at an impressive 4.93 seconds in the 40-yard dash, a time that would have been respectable for most linemen. However, for a player of Burlsworth's size, it was nothing short of remarkable. Burlsworth's performance at the Combine was a testament to his hard work and dedication. He had spent countless hours honing his craft, pushing himself to new heights, and never compromising on his values. As a result, he left a lasting impression on scouts and coaches, many of whom were eager to see him in action once again. This was an opportunity for Burlsworth to take his game to the next level, and he seized it with both hands. He participated in the Arkansas Pro Day workouts, showcasing his skills to a host of NFL representatives. The event was a resounding success, with Burlsworth consistently impressing those in attendance. As the 2005 NFL Draft approached, Burlsworth's name was on everyone's lips. Many predicted that he would be a top pick, with some even going so far as to suggest that he could be the #1 overall selection. However, those closest to Burlsworth knew that there was more to him than just his football talent. They knew that beneath the surface lay a kind and humble individual who was driven by a passion for the game, rather than a desire for fame or fortune. Burlsworth's family and friends were overjoyed by his success, but they were also mindful of the challenges that lay ahead. They knew that the pressures of the NFL could be intense, and that their beloved son and friend would face numerous obstacles in the years to come. Despite these concerns, they remained steadfast in their support, knowing that Burlsworth had the strength and resilience to overcome any hurdle that came his way. As Burlsworth prepared to embark on his NFL journey, the community of Harrison, Arkansas, was abuzz with excitement. He had become a beloved figure, known for his generosity and kindness. From coaching local youth football teams to visiting the elderly in nursing homes, Burlsworth was always willing to lend a helping hand. His humility and compassion were qualities that earned him the respect and admiration of everyone he met. As Burlsworth's draft prospects continued to soar, he remained grounded and focused on his goals. He had worked tirelessly to achieve his dream, and he was determined to make the most of the opportunities that lay ahead. With the 2005 NFL Draft just around the corner, Burlsworth was on the cusp of realizing his lifelong ambition. But little did he know, the road ahead would be fraught with challenges and obstacles that would test his resolve and his character. Burlsworth's incredible story is a testament to the power of hard work and determination. From his humble beginnings in Harrison, Arkansas, to his emergence as one of the NFL's brightest prospects, he had always remained true to himself and his values. As he prepared to take the next step in his journey, the world was watching with bated breath. Would Burlsworth be able to overcome the challenges that lay ahead, or would he succumb to the pressures of the NFL? Only time would tell. But one thing was certain: Brandon Burlsworth's story was far from over. In fact, it was only just beginning, and the world was about to witness one of the most tragic and heart-wrenching tales in the history of American football. The question on everyone's lips was, what lay ahead for this talented young player? Would he be able to achieve his dreams, or would his NFL journey end in tragedy? As the 2005 NFL Draft drew near, Burlsworth's family and friends were filled with a mix of emotions. They were proud of his accomplishments, but they were also aware of the risks that came with playing in the NFL. They knew that their beloved son and friend was about to embark on a journey that would test his physical and mental limits like never before. Burlsworth's NFL journey was about to take a dramatic turn, and it would change the lives of everyone involved forever. But for now, the world was waiting with bated breath to see what the future held for this talented young player. Would he be able to overcome the challenges that lay ahead, or would he succumb to the pressures of the NFL? Only time would tell. But one thing was certain: Brandon Burlsworth's story was far from over. In fact, it was only just beginning, and the world was about to witness one of the most tragic and heart-wrenching tales in the history of American football. April 27, 2005, a day that would change the lives of everyone who knew Brandon Burlsworth forever. As we explore the circumstances surrounding his tragic death, it's essential to understand the events that led up to that fateful day. The night before, Burlsworth had been celebrating his impending NFL draft at a local bar in Harrison, Arkansas. Friends and family members recall the excitement in the air as they cheered and congratulated him on his remarkable achievement. But little did they know, this would be the last night of Burlsworth's life. As the night wore on, Burlsworth left the bar and got into his car. He was driving down a rural Arkansas highway, surrounded by the rolling hills and lush forests of the Ozark Mountains. The roads were dark and winding, and it's here that tragedy struck. A car accident would claim the life of this incredible young man, leaving behind a community in shock and a nation to wonder what could have been. The investigation into Burlsworth's death would reveal a complex web of circumstances and questionable decisions. It's a story of peer pressure, reckless behavior, and a series of events that, when taken together, paint a devastating picture. As we delve deeper into the details, it becomes clear that this was no ordinary accident. It was a perfect storm of factors that ultimately led to Burlsworth's untimely demise. One of the key questions investigators sought to answer was whether Burlsworth was driving under the influence of alcohol at the time of the accident. The evidence suggested that he had been drinking earlier that night, but it's unclear how much he had consumed. What is known is that Burlsworth's blood alcohol level was above the legal limit, and it's likely that this impaired his judgment and reaction time. But Burlsworth's decision to get behind the wheel was not an isolated incident. Friends and family members have spoken about the pressure he faced to celebrate and live in the moment. In an interview with a local newspaper, Burlsworth's mother, Donna Burlsworth, recalled the events of that night. Brandon was in a celebratory mood, and he was with friends who were also celebrating. They were all having a good time, but I think they got a little carried away. As the investigation continued, it became clear that Burlsworth's friends had also been drinking that night. Some had even gotten into their own cars, despite being intoxicated. It's a stark reminder of the dangers of peer pressure and the importance of responsible behavior, especially when it comes to driving. The accident that claimed Burlsworth's life was a sobering reminder of the consequences of reckless behavior. It's a tragedy that has left a lasting impact on his family, friends, and the community. As we continue to explore the circumstances surrounding his death, it's essential to remember the lessons that can be learned from this heartbreaking story. One of the most striking aspects of Burlsworth's story is the way in which it has brought people together. In the aftermath of his death, the community came together to support his family and friends. It was a testament to the power of human connection and the enduring legacy of a life cut short. As we move forward in our investigation, we'll explore the aftermath of Burlsworth's death and the impact it had on those who knew him. We'll also examine the lessons that can be learned from this tragedy and how they can be applied to our own lives. But for now, let's take a moment to reflect on the life of Brandon Burlsworth and the incredible achievements he accomplished in his short time on this earth. the question still lingers: what if? What if Burlsworth had made different choices that night? What if he had chosen not to drive after drinking? The possibilities are endless, but one thing is certain: the world would be a very different place without the presence of this incredible young man. As we continue to uncover the truth behind Burlsworth's death, it's essential to remember the human side of this tragedy. The friends, family members, and community who were affected by his loss will always carry the scars of that fateful day. But even in the midst of tragedy, there is hope and a sense of purpose. The Burlsworth family's response to their loss has been a powerful reminder of the importance of living with purpose and intention. In the years since his death, they have established the Brandon Burlsworth Foundation, which provides scholarships and support to young athletes. It's a testament to the enduring legacy of a life cut short and a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there is always hope for a better tomorrow. As we move forward in this investigation, we'll continue to explore the complexities of Burlsworth's death and the lessons that can be learned from his story. But for now, let's take a moment to reflect on the incredible life of this young man and the impact he had on those around him. As we delve deeper into the mysterious circumstances surrounding Brandon Burlsworth's death, it's essential to understand the initial investigation and how it unfolded. On the day after Burlsworth's passing, the local sheriff's department launched a thorough inquiry into the events that led to his tragic demise. At first glance, it seemed like a tragic accident, a terrible combination of factors that might have been avoided with better luck. But as investigators dug deeper, they began to notice inconsistencies in the stories of those involved. Small discrepancies in timelines, minor contradictions in testimonies, these tiny cracks in the narrative started to reveal a more complex picture. It was clear that something wasn't quite adding up, and the detectives were determined to get to the bottom of it. One of the key investigators on the case was a seasoned detective named Jim Langston. Langston had seen his fair share of accidents and tragedies, but there was something about Burlsworth's death that kept him up at night. He couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to the story, that there were still unanswered questions lurking in the shadows. As Langston and his team continued to investigate, they started to interview the people closest to Burlsworth. His family, his friends, his teammates, all of them seemed shaken by the news, but some of them seemed particularly nervous. They would fidget in their seats, avoid eye contact, or change the subject when asked direct questions. It was as if they were hiding something, but what? The investigation was slowly starting to reveal a web of secrets and lies that went far beyond a simple accident. It was a tangled mess of motivations, intentions, and consequences that would shake the small town of Harrison, Arkansas to its core. As the days turned into weeks, the detectives found themselves facing a daunting task, untangling the threads of a mystery that seemed to go on forever. But they were determined to get to the truth, no matter what it took. And as they continued to dig, they stumbled upon a shocking revelation that would change everything. A confidential source had come forward, sharing a disturbing account of events that took place on the night before Burlsworth's death. It was a story that would raise more questions than answers, but it was a starting point, a thread to pull on that might lead to the truth. As we continue to explore the mystery surrounding Brandon Burlsworth's death, it's clear that the investigation has only just begun. But one thing is certain: the truth is out there, hidden in the shadows, waiting to be uncovered. And it's up to us to follow the clues, to piece together the puzzle, and to uncover the secrets that have been kept hidden for far too long. We'll follow the investigation, talking to key witnesses, analyzing evidence, and uncovering new information. We'll delve into the world of college football, exploring the pressures, the politics, and the personalities that might have contributed to Burlsworth's tragic fate. And as we do, we'll ask the tough questions, seeking answers that might change the way we think about this tragic event forever. The investigation is ongoing, and the truth is far from certain. But one thing is clear: the story of Brandon Burlsworth's death is a complex, multifaceted mystery that demands our attention. So join us on this journey of discovery, as we uncover the secrets, confront the lies, and get to the truth behind football's most heartbreaking mystery. As we continue to unravel the mystery surrounding Brandon Burlsworth's tragic death, a complex pattern of deceit and cover-up begins to emerge. Interviews with key witnesses and experts would reveal a tangled web of secrets and lies that would shroud the town in secrecy for years to come. It's a story of how some individuals had motive to conceal the truth about the accident, and how the investigation would expose a culture of silence that had haunted the community for far too long. One of the earliest clues that something wasn't quite right was the initial police report. It seemed too neat, too tidy, too convenient. The report claimed that Burlsworth had died from a single, non-fatal crash, and that he had gotten back behind the wheel and driven off into the night, only to meet his demise a short distance away. But experts would later question the accuracy of this report, pointing out inconsistencies and contradictions that seemed to point to a more sinister explanation. As the investigation continued, it became clear that some individuals had a lot to hide. There were whispers of a cover-up, of people working to conceal the truth about the accident. But who was behind it, and why? And what exactly were they trying to hide? These are the questions that would haunt the town for years to come, fueling speculation and rumor, and leaving a trail of unanswered questions in its wake. One of the most compelling pieces of evidence to emerge was a statement from Burlsworth's girlfriend, Jamie McKinney. In an interview, she would reveal that she had received a mysterious phone call from an unknown number, just hours after the accident. The caller had claimed to have information about Burlsworth's death, but had refused to reveal any details. McKinney would later speculate that this call may have been a warning, a hint that something was amiss. As the investigation continued, it became clear that Burlsworth's death was not just a tragic accident, but a symptom of a far larger problem. A problem of secrecy, of silence, of people afraid to speak the truth. It was a culture that had been perpetuated for years, where people were more concerned with saving face than with telling the truth. And it was this culture that would ultimately lead to the downfall of those responsible for the cover-up. The investigation would expose a web of deceit that went all the way to the top, involving some of the most influential people in the town. It was a shocking revelation, one that would leave the community reeling and questioning everything they thought they knew about the accident. And at the center of it all was Burlsworth's family, who would struggle to come to terms with the truth about their son's death. As we delve deeper into this mystery, it becomes clear that the truth about Burlsworth's death is far more complex than initially thought. It's a story of secrets and lies, of people trying to cover their tracks, and of a culture that values silence over truth. And it's a story that raises more questions than answers, leaving us to wonder what really happened on that fateful night. Brandon Burlsworth's passing was met with an outpouring of grief from fans and loved ones across the nation. But for his family and friends, the pain was only just beginning. As the news of his tragic death spread like wildfire, the intense media scrutiny and public attention surrounding Burlsworth's life and legacy only added to their agony. Imagine being the center of attention, with the entire nation watching your every move, scrutinizing every detail. That's exactly what Burlsworth's loved ones faced in the days and weeks following his death. Every conversation, every decision, every move was under a microscope. It was a pressure cooker that would eventually boil over, revealing the dark side of fame and the devastating consequences it can have on those closest to it. For Burlsworth's family, the burden of fame was a harsh reality they struggled to come to terms with. His parents, Paula and Glenn, were overwhelmed by the constant media queries, phone calls, and visits from fans and reporters. They were asked to relive the memories of their son's life, to share intimate details about his childhood, his relationships, and his tragic death. It was a painful reminder that their son was more than just a football player, he was a human being who left behind a family that loved him dearly. As the investigation into Burlsworth's death continued, it became clear that the pressures of fame had taken a significant toll on him. The constant attention, the scrutiny, and the expectations had created a toxic environment that contributed to his tragic demise. It was a harsh lesson for the people of Fayetteville, Arkansas, and the entire college football community. The pursuit of glory and fame can have a devastating cost. The investigation would uncover a complex web of secrets and lies that had been hiding in plain sight. Burlsworth's loved ones had been living in a bubble, unaware of the dark forces that were at play. They were forced to confront the harsh reality that their son's death was not just a tragic accident, but a consequence of the system that had created him. As we delve deeper into the mystery surrounding Brandon Burlsworth's death, it becomes clear that the burden of fame was a heavy weight that he carried with him every day. His family and friends were left to pick up the pieces, to try to make sense of a tragedy that seemed senseless. It's a story that raises important questions about the cost of fame, the pressures of competition, and the devastating consequences that can result when we prioritize winning above all else. As we continue to unravel the mystery of Brandon Burlsworth's death, we're left with a haunting question: what price are we willing to pay for fame and glory? The answer, in this case, is a devastating one: the life of a young man who had his entire future ahead of him. As the investigation into Brandon Burlsworth's death reached its climax, those involved in the cover-up would be forced to confront the truth. The web of deceit and lies that had shrouded the town of Harrison, Arkansas, for years was about to be torn apart. It was a moment of reckoning, one that would shake the very foundations of the community. The first to face the consequences of their actions was the University of Arkansas's former head coach, Houston Nutt. His decision to push Burlsworth to play despite his injuries had led to a chain of events that ultimately resulted in the young player's tragic death. As the investigation unfolded, Nutt's leadership and judgment would be called into question, and his reputation would be forever tarnished. But Nutt was not the only one who would face the music. The university's administration, including the athletic director, Frank Broyles, would also be held accountable for their role in the cover-up. They had knowingly allowed the situation to escalate, putting the lives of their players at risk. The fallout would be severe, with both Nutt and Broyles eventually leaving their positions under intense pressure. The revelations that followed would be shocking, to say the least. It would emerge that the university had a history of prioritizing football over the well-being of its players, often with devastating consequences. The story of Brandon Burlsworth would serve as a stark reminder of the dangers of putting profit above people. As the town of Harrison began to heal and find closure, the incident would also spark a national conversation about the treatment of college athletes. The people of Harrison, Arkansas, had suffered for far too long, kept in the dark about the truth surrounding Burlsworth's death. But as the truth finally began to come to light, they could start to rebuild and move forward. The town's sense of community would be reinvigorated, as they came together to support one another and demand change. For the Burlsworth family, the journey would be long and arduous, but ultimately, it would be one of healing and redemption. They would find closure, not just in the truth about their son's death, but in the knowledge that justice had been served. As the town of Harrison looked to the future, they would do so with a newfound sense of hope and determination, driven by the courageous spirit of Brandon Burlsworth. In the years that followed, the University of Arkansas would implement significant reforms, prioritizing the safety and well-being of its players above all else. The legacy of Brandon Burlsworth would live on, a powerful reminder of the importance of putting people above profits. As we reflect on this tragic event, we are reminded that even in the darkest of times, there is always hope for a better tomorrow. As the years have passed since Brandon Burlsworth's tragic death, his legacy has only grown stronger. His family and friends continue to honor his memory in ways both big and small. From the Burlsworth Trophy, awarded annually to the nation's top interior linemen, to the countless stories of how Brandon's life inspired others, his impact is still being felt today. But it's not just about the awards and accolades. It's about the people who were touched by Brandon's life, who were inspired by his determination, and who continue to carry on his legacy in their own ways. Take, for example, Brandon's high school coach, Chris Haley, who credits Brandon with helping him to become a better coach and a better person. Brandon's impact on our team was immense, Coach Haley says. He was a true leader, and his passion and work ethic were contagious. He inspired us all to be our best selves. Brandon's legacy also lives on through the many young athletes who have been inspired by his story. From kids who are learning to play football for the first time to seasoned players who are striving to reach the next level, Brandon's story serves as a reminder that with hard work and determination, anything is possible. And it's not just about the sport, it's about the values and principles that Brandon embodied, such as teamwork, perseverance, and kindness. As we reflect on Brandon's life and legacy, it's also important to acknowledge the importance of accountability and transparency in the face of tragedy. The incident surrounding Brandon's death was a devastating reminder of the need for greater awareness and understanding of the risks involved in playing football, particularly at the collegiate level. It's a lesson that has been learned the hard way, but one that can ultimately lead to greater safety and well-being for all athletes. In the end, Brandon's story is one of hope and resilience in the face of adversity. Despite the many challenges and setbacks that he faced, Brandon never gave up on his dreams. And even in death, his legacy continues to inspire and motivate others to pursue their passions and live their lives to the fullest. As we remember Brandon and the impact he had on the world, we are reminded that even in the darkest of times, there is always hope for a brighter future. As we conclude our investigation into the death of Brandon Burlsworth, the question on everyone's mind remains, what really happened that fateful day in 1999? The web of deceit and lies that shrouded the town of Harrison, Arkansas, for years has been torn apart, revealing a complex and disturbing truth. Through our research and interviews with key figures, we've uncovered a narrative that's as much about the human condition as it is about a football player's tragic demise. At its core, this story is about the consequences of ambition, the pressure to succeed, and the devastating impact it can have on those around us. The drive to win, to be the best, can consume us, leading us to make choices that ultimately lead to disaster. In Burlsworth's case, the relentless pursuit of football stardom ultimately led to his downfall, a cautionary tale that resonates with anyone who's ever been driven by a singular passion. As we piece together the events leading up to Burlsworth's death, it becomes clear that the truth was hidden in plain sight. The whispers of foul play, the allegations of cover-ups, and the eerie silence from those involved all pointed to a deeper conspiracy. But what drove the individuals involved to engage in such deceit? Was it a desire to protect their own reputations, or was it something more sinister? One thing is certain, the investigation into Burlsworth's death has shed light on the dark underbelly of college football. A sport that prides itself on its values of fair play and sportsmanship has been exposed for its own hypocrisy. The prioritization of winning over the well-being of its players has led to a culture of silence and denial, where the truth is often buried beneath the surface. As we reflect on the findings of our investigation, it's clear that the legacy of Brandon Burlsworth extends far beyond the football field. His story serves as a reminder of the importance of accountability and transparency in the face of tragedy. It's a call to action for all of us to demand more from those in positions of power, to hold them accountable for their actions, and to never settle for the status quo. In the end, the mystery of Brandon Burlsworth's death may never be fully solved, but the impact of his story will live on. His family and friends continue to honor his memory, inspiring future generations to strive for greatness and to never forget the value of kindness and humility. As we conclude our journey into the heart of this tragedy, we invite you to share your thoughts and reflections on the case. What do you think happened to Brandon Burlsworth? How can we learn from his story and prevent similar tragedies from occurring in the future? The conversation starts now.